Welcome to Good or What, the show where we talk about stuff and whether it sucks or not. Ernest, what is our first movie this week?
Our first movie is Out of the Furnace, not starring me, Ernest.
Let's take a look.
You hear me, Petty? You better start following through on your promise. For 25 grand, you better control. I ought to put a piece of lead in your ass and take everything in.
John, you back here? Oh, I'm sorry. Should I come back later?
No, it's okay. We're finishing up.
Your mom teach you to barge in like that?
You got a problem with me?
I got a problem with that, buddy.
You know, Matt, I like that movie.
Already.
I'm gonna go ahead. What I don't like is when, producers and companies decide they're gonna slam pack a movie full of recognizable faces so that it looks like a big hit.
You didn't love The Big Wedding? Come on.
No. I definitely did not love that movie, or Love Actually, or anything of this, or Valentine's Day. We can keep going.
You just hate love. That's your problem. I forgot.
You know what? It's true. I hate love. Do something. But, no, this looks like different. I mean, I think that the actors they put together all work well together. It looks like, I don't know, what do you think?
You're right on, Ernest. I love the cast here. This isn't the kind of movie that is that surprising or interesting narratively, but there's just such tough, great performances. I love Woody Harrelson, Christian Bale, Casey Affleck, Willem Dafoe. So many people in here. Zoe Saldana, kind of underused in a supporting role, but still a helpful part of the team. You just really enjoy getting into this world with a lot of these uneasy characters doing... Casey Affleck's character gets into a bad situation with Harrelson's. Okay. Bale is Affleck's brother and goes to try to help out, and of course, not so good things happen. Uh-oh. This comes from Scott Cooper, who did Crazy Heart, a movie I absolutely loved. And that's a really good example of something that can, on the surface, feel generic. It's like, oh, really? A country singer who's hitting the bottle and not doing so well? But surprise, surprise. But when you actually watch the movie, it's so much more than that. I think this movie doesn't rise to greatness the way that Crazy Heart does. And you walk out having a little bit more questions about this world, wanting a little bit more juice, but the dialogue and the characters and the performances totally make it worth it.
Okay. Well, Matt Pais, Out of the Furnace, not starring Ernest. I'm never letting that go.
I want to hear that every week from now on.
That's actually, we're renaming the show. But Out of the Furnace, good or what?
Ernest, I'm happy to say, because it's the only big release of the week for some reason, Out of the Furnace is good.
Okay, there we go.
I think I just said Out of the Furnace.
No, it's okay. It's the name of the show now, Out of the Furnace. Tune in next week. We'll be talking about furnaces. Okay, what's our second film this week?
We're also talking The Punk Singer.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's watch a clip.
I'd read Toby's fanzine, and she was talking about feminism and punk rock in the same sentence.
Toby was like, do you know how to play bass? No. Do you want to start a band with me? Toby was like, I think we should ask this girl Kathleen to be the singer.
It was making music a voice for a lot of people that hadn't been heard before. Right when Bikini Kill started, right when grunge was like going off the hook, right when Nirvana was exploding. It was a wild scene.
All right, so I have a feeling that this movie is going to be watched by the people who are super into like music and the 90s and that kind of thing, but everybody else is gonna go shoo and they're not gonna pay attention to it.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
And it deserves a little bit more than that, but maybe not a ton. And that's probably because, as you can tell, the movie exists to say Kathleen Hanna is awesome.
Yeah.
And pretty much Kathleen Hanna is awesome.
Yeah, I'll agree. She's awesome. Yeah.
Fans of Bikini Kill, La Tigre, her new band, The Julie Ruin, or her involvement with the Riot Girl movement. So many things that people have reason to know Kathleen Hanna for doing. But I think you need to do more than say, let's collect her bandmates and her husband, Adam Horovitz of the Beastie Boys, and have all these, and Joan Jett and everyone, and say, here are the reasons why Kathleen Hanna is great and important and influential, because these statements are worth acknowledging, but wouldn't it be nice to actually connect that to so many of the issues that Hannah was dealing with in the early 90s with Bikini Kill are still relevant today, which is why the movie is applicable to now, but the film doesn't actually engage a lot of that stuff as much as it could, so I think that's a real missed opportunity.
Oh, well, I don't know what to say. It's definitely a case where you feel like there's definitely a lot of feminist notions that they were trying to push back then that, like you just said, are still issues, but I don't know how you address it in a documentary, you know?
I guess maybe doing more than just these thin references to
An overarching, like, hey, this is a thing that happened kind of thing.
well, and that there are some bands dealing with these issues now, but it doesn't get really into the nitty gritty of it, and I understand what you're saying. Like, if you really zoom out and turn it into a huge study of women's rights, that could be a big thing.
Right.
And that's not the only thing that Kathleen Hanna stands for. But that said, I still think a movie filled with good stories from somewhat biased people at times doesn't go as far as it could.
Okay. Well, Matt Pais, the punk singer. Good or what?
Ernest, I enjoyed a lot of aspects of the punk singer, really good music, good stories, and it will be particularly informative for people who just don't know that much about this era, early 90s, the stuff that was going on, but still, it doesn't rise above a what.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. This wraps up another edition of Good or What, the last one before we rename it Out of the Furnace with Ernest and Matt. We're working on the title. But my name is Ernest Wilkins.
My name is Matt Pais. Next week we are talking The Hobbit.
All right. Stay tuned.